tonight's contest as the prodigy Victoria Lee takes on undefeated Brazilian Victoria Souza.
With older siblings, Angela and Christian holding gold in one championship, Victoria Lee wants to continue her family's legacy.
My dream is to one day become a world champion.
The 17-year-old has been making rapid progress as she looks for a third straight submission victory.
Victoria! Victorious! Don't try it.
Yeah.
Can't deny it.
Tonight, Lee takes on undefeated Victoria Souza, with the Brazilian aiming to shut down the surging youngster.
E acredito que isso até possa deixar ela mais nervosa para essa luta, onde eu vou encontrar mais falhas e vou sair vitoriosa.
Can Lee continue her impressive start? Or will the teenager wilt under the bright lights?
So don't try it, you can't deny it. I'm on fire. You cannot stop me
now. Representing Brazil, Victoria Vick Souza.
From Florianopolis, the 24-year-old Victoria Souza. What a debut in one championship for Souza, but she is confident that she can be the first person to solve the riddle of the teenage prodigy Victoria Lee. The Brazilian says she'll inflict the first damage to the record on Victoria Lee and believes she can submit Victoria and do so quickly, Dragon.
Yeah, that's what she said. She's got a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger coming into this with good reason. She is undefeated. She's got 4 finishes, and all of them came in the very first round. She's got a good gas tank, but she has a very similar style to Victoria Lee, Michael.
But she takes on a part of a legendary family, the Lee family, who are all world champions. Angela was a world champion at 19. Christian, a world champion at 20. Is Victoria Lee set to become a future world champion?
Representing Singapore and the United States of America, Victoria, the prodigy, Lee.
We have a Singapore government-mandated crowd of 500 people inside the Singapore Indoor Stadium tonight. And they are presently going bananas for this young lady, Victoria Lee. And so they should. The 17-year-old representing both the USA and Singapore out of Team Evolve and United MMA is undefeated so far, 2-0 with 2 finishes, and they have both been flawless performances.
Yeah, in typical Lee fashion, she starts off very aggressive, immediately puts a pace on her opponents, and hunts for the finish. Whether it's coming by choke, TKO, she believes she has the toolkit to do everything. But a lot of her skills come from the submission game. She's got long arms, she can snatch up chokes from a variety of positions, and at 17 years old, this young lady is so good. Plan A for Victoria Lee is to punch her way into the takedown and submit Souza. But
don't forget, folks, check out our merchandise, our Elite Pro Series skis, the finest BJJ uniforms from our premium performance range. Get them at the one shop right now, our Elite Pro Series. Speaking of Elite, Victoria Lee from that famed Lee family. Her older brother Christian Lee will be in our main event tonight, defending the lightweight championship of the world. There's her father, the Einstein, the genius behind the dynasty, Ken Lee. And you know, Mitch, you talk to people before Victoria was signed to One Championship, and everybody in the know was saying she is the most talented of all the Lee children. This young lady, Victoria.
Man, if you watch some of the hype videos on Lee, you see that she's been competing at a pretty high level since she was like little kid, man. It was so, how do you do that?
But this is her toughest challenge. It is an atomweight contest, mixed martial arts set for 3x5 in a round. It's Brazil versus the USA and Singapore. BJJ versus a freestyler. Lee has a big height advantage. Both are undefeated. The bout will be judged in its entirety, not round by round, and knees to the head of a grounded opponent are legal. For more, let's go to Don Lau.
Ladies and gentlemen, and martial arts fans from all around the world, welcome to the most exciting global martial arts event, One Championship. We are live in Singapore and broadcast to more than 150 countries. This is One Championship Revolution. So get ready for a night of non-stop martial arts action. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we begin with 3 rounds of 5 minutes in a one women's atomweight mixed martial arts contest. This match is presented to you by Singapore Indoor Stadium, where Singapore comes to play. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, she stands at 153 centimeters tall, holding a perfect mixed martial arts record of 5 wins and no losses. Training out of Double Attack, representing Brazil. Please welcome Victoria Vick Souza. And introducing her opponent, out of the red corner, she stands at 166 centimeters tall, training out of United MMA and Evolve MMA, representing Singapore and the United States of America. Make some noise for Victoria, the prodigy, Lee. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Mr. Justin Brown.
Ladies, center, please. You both know the rule. I expect a clean match. Obey my commands at all times. Don't strike the back of the head. You ready? Touch gloves. Back up.
The Beatles sang about one in 1968. The French accomplished one, a great one, in 1789. Now it's one's turn for a revolution. Inside the Singapore Indoor Stadium, first round between 2 undefeated fighters. The prodigy Victoria Lee, only 17 years old, and Brazil's Victoria Souza. Hands early on from Souza in the pink.
Souza showing no fear going after the striking. It looks like she caught one there as the right hand landed as she dropped to a knee, it looked like.
Big height and reach differential, 13 centimeters taller is Lee.
Like Souza's aggression. You know, she has a very similar game plan to Victoria Lee. She likes to push forward, ground and pound, get on top, beat on her opponents. But right now they're choosing to exchange inside the pocket.
Lee's older sister, world atomweight champion Angela Lee, watching on from Hawaii. Meanwhile, backstage, her older brother, world's lightweight champion Christian Lee, warming up for his title defense in our main event.
Victoria Lee's doing a good job landing with that right hand of hers. So she's got to be a little bit careful, keep her guard high. She's dropping her hands a little bit low after she punches.
You can already see some reddening around the left cheekbone of Victoria Souza, courtesy of the Lee right hand. Just a slip there from Lee, not enough starch behind the right though of Souza, who could have tagged her as Lee was rising.
So one thing I noticed with Souza is that when she throws her jab, she kind of leans to the right side. She has to be very careful with that. There's a strong, muscly takedown from Victoria Lee as she's trying to pass the guard right now. Souza's got to be careful not to let those legs get past. You can see how Lee's got her foot there on the thigh. She's going to try to use that to pop her other leg out. She just uses to abandon it and flatten out Souza under her back. Souza's got to try to pop over onto one hip. Looks like she's going underneath the leg, looking for a sweep. Hard to do in the position that she's in up against the wall like that.
2 undefeated athletes, 2-0 for Victoria Lee, 5-0 for Victoria Souza.
Important for Souza to stay up on that elbow. You can see how Victoria Lee's trying to reap the elbow out, so she's not allowing her to post. Souza can use that to stand back up. Lee's trying to pass the guard now, trying to get that left leg out. But Souza's doing a good job of holding on to half guard.
Victoria Lee's had one of the busiest years of any athlete. This one, 2 fights so far. This is her 3rd, and we're not even 10 months into the year.
Good post by Souza, got back up to her feet. This is where Lee's very dangerous with that body lock. When she gets those hands clasped together, she is able to ragdoll her opponents, very similar to her brother, Christian Lee. You have to immediately start pummeling and try to break that grip, because Lee will get you to the ground if she gets those hands locked.
We speak of the busy year of Victoria Lee, but Victoria Souza has had 4 finishes in less than 18 months.
Souza trying to sweep to get on top here. Now she's got her hands locked and she's trying to pass the guard of Lee. Lee goes to that gable grip, might try to sweep here. She can use that butterfly hook on her right side and throw her to the left. She's trying, but Souza's got a good base. You can see she's trying to push off the hips now. See, Lee's got a very active guard. That's the mark of a good submission artist. They don't just lock the closed guard. They're trying to open their guard and look for submissions, and that's what Lee's doing right here. She's trying to shove down that right arm, and she goes for a triangle right there. Yep, she's got it.
And she's used the triangle here, Victoria Lee. Look at the grit and determination on the teenager's face. The upward elbows now to Souza.
That was a mistake by Souza to let her arm get pushed down like that. Lee's got those long legs, perfect for snatching up triangles.
This is the traditional Lee opening round aggression. They all try to finish in the first 5 minutes. Angela, Christian, and now we see it here from Victoria.
Lee went up, grabbed her own foot, pulled it down a little bit tighter, adjusted the arm bar.
Elbows to the top of the exposed head of Victoria Souza. 1 minute remaining, first round set for 3. But will we go that far? More elbows to come perhaps from Victoria Lee.
So you can see Souza's trying to protect her other arm. Lee's trying to double up the attack and look for a possible key lock or arm bar.
Here's the elbows again from Lee. Tightens up the triangle a little more here, does the teenager.
You can see how Souza's trying to crowd her, right? And then Lee's trying to push away to get a little bit more leverage in that triangle. It's going to be hard for Lee to complete this triangle because Souza's so tight and compact here. You can see she's trying to extend back. She's trying to make it a little bit deeper, but Souza's doing a good job of fighting it. You can see how Lee's trying to make these little adjustments. There she is, doubling up the attack, going for an arm bar. Yep. Hard to really get your hips into it. She might have to try to lose the triangle and go to an arm bar position for the legs.
No one has ever lasted past 7 minutes with Victoria Lee so far. Final 10 seconds of this opening round, and Souza's done 5 minutes with it. We are going into the second. Folks, wherever you're watching in 154 countries around the world, let us know your thoughts at One Championship across all your social media platforms.
You can see when Lee went belly down, see those arms get locked, boom. Easily leans over to the side, gets the takedown there. She's a handful to deal with it when she gets those hands locked. Souza's got to deal with that. She has to either go to her own body lock or defend a little bit more by swimming in with the arms. You can see the way that Souza grabbed her arm and kind of like nursed it a little bit, because I think that arm bar got a little bit deep there at the end. If Victoria Lee had the time, she could have got it.
Good, good. All right. So if you're going to be desperate, you may look for a takedown too. Stuff her, take her right down, okay? Let's go.
The genius, the mastermind, Ken Lee, telling his daughter to stuff the takedown attempt and look to take Souza down herself. Inside the Singapore Indoor Stadium, One Championship Revolution, round 2 of our opening match.
Round 2, let's go.
Victoria Lee bounds out of her corner. Towers over Souza.
That's what Lee told me earlier this week. She wanted the takedown on her terms. She did not want to allow Souza to dictate the takedown. So if she does get tangled up, she wants to be the one to initiate it. She'll probably look to reverse. Souza slowed down a little bit here in the second.
Psychologically dragging around the hotel and in her media appearances this week, a very serious Victoria Lee. Hasn't been smiling as usual, very focused on her approach to this one.
Yeah, she always is, man. She's been born and bred to do this, man. She's been doing it her entire life. She knows exactly when to throw that switch. When she's into the body lock, hands are locked. Look at her trying to reap those legs. She's gonna try to twist now.
What should Victoria Souza be looking to do?
Victoria, she's got a pummel position, so she's at a 50-50, right? She's got one underhook, and Victoria Lee has on one underhook. But she's got to try to swim in. She can't just sit there with that whizzer. She might want to try a whizzer kick, but that's what happens. Once those hands lock, she just wrenches you down.
Oh, the elbows! Relentless from Victoria Lee. Trying to crack the orbital of Souza. Knee on belly here from Victoria Lee. And now mounts her easily, drops the elbows again. Is Souza going to give up her back?
Yeah, not a lot of resistance coming from Souza. That was an easy pass of the guard, stepped over. Knee on belly, now looking for that rear naked choke. You can see how Souza's on her back. She might, or on her side like that, she might try to go back down and flatten out and give up the mount.
Watch the back of the head. Watch
This
the back
is
of
a
the head.
bad spot for her to be in.
Again, the exposed side of the face taking punishment.
That was the right thing to do. I like the way she reversed the position, went chest to chest, dug the underhook on her left side. But she's just getting overwhelmed right now. I don't know if she has the gas tank to really explode the way that she's going to need to get out. He's just out-muscling her at this point, just pinning her down and elbowing her in the face.
Lee finding the openings and thumping the elbows on the uncovered face of Victoria Souza. Now goes to the body, elbow to the upper rib cage, puts a knee on there now for more added pressure, trying to get a mount again perhaps. What's she looking for here, Dragon?
I think she's trying to go to full mount. Souza's doing a good job of keeping that half guard. I like how she's digging the underhook on her left side. That's a smart position, but what might happen is she might get a guillotine here from the top. I think she's got that arm under the neck. She might ankle herself out. This might be a wrap.
And Victoria Lee make it 3 finishes in a row. She's working on it. Souza surviving, however. And Lee's got to soften her up a little more, Dragon.
She doesn't quite have it, but there might be a Darce choke right here, or an anaconda. You can see where she's trying to enter in that arm. You know, Victoria Lee's keeping the underhook, but that's giving her up. A great job by Souza to get back up to her feet, Michael.
The resilience of Victoria Souza, the undefeated Brazilian, with 150 remaining, second round of 3. As I said earlier, no one before this had been past 7 minutes with Victoria Lee, but Souza has done so thus far. Could she drag Lee into a position Lee's never been into? That's the 3rd round. But look at this from Victoria Lee. Still trying to find a finish.
She had that anaconda grip and she reaped the outside leg and put Souza down. I think there might be a mounted guillotine right here. Yeah, you can see the way she's cranking on the head. But Souza knows what she's doing. She fought the hands, got rid of the choke. Souza's well skilled. She's doing everything right on the ground, but she's getting overwhelmed now.
Side of the head exposed, and here come those axe-like elbows again. Just above the ear of Victoria Souza. And now on the bridge of the nose, and curls the knuckles in just above the right eye. Referee says no more. Victoria, victorious in Singapore again. The 3-0 for Victoria Lee.
Yeah, Lee was just one step ahead. She knew what Souza wanted to do, and she was able to out-control her and out-move her. The way that she had that arm pinned, she had Souza's left arm pinned with her knee, and there was no place for her to defend. So she just started teeing off with the elbows. So Souza only had one arm to defend, and it was just too much. You can see the way she's curling that arm, and she's kind of protecting it. I think that Lee hurt her with the arm bar at the end of the 1st round. And it was just too much, and she wasn't able to use it at the kind of those